Let's begin, and I guess we should begin with one of our headline stories where the Labour Party and Mr. Peter Obi, some other political parties also have filed officially a petition to challenge Bola Tinubu's victory in the February 25th presidential election. Tonight, I'm being joined by Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Kayode Adeluola, who joins us virtually from Lagos to give us an understanding of these suits that have been filed officially. Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us tonight, Senior Advocate. Give us a sense, thank you so much. Give us a sense of the implication of these suits that have been officially filed. We understand that tonight is going to be the deadline under the law to file such.
Yes, the results and the return having been done on the 1st of March, and the winner having been declared on the 1st of March, gives the petitioners up to tonight, the 21st day after the declaration, before they file their petitions. Now, having filed the petitions, what one should look at is what are the grounds they have premised their petitions on. The Labour Party has simply covered the field. In that sense, I'm saying that the three grounds that are recognized by the Electoral Act are: one, that the respondent, that is the president-elect, was not qualified to participate in the election. Second, that there were corrupt practices, and also that the requirements of the Electoral Act were not followed. And thirdly, that the required votes, being the majority and spreading around the Federation, 2/3 of the number of states of the Federal Capital Territory, were not fulfilled by the president-elect. And as well, they are also saying that as a consequence of that, first, the petitioner is saying that Bola Tinubu, who is the president-elect, should have the certificate of return retrieved from him and be handed over to Mr. Peter Obi. And the premise upon which is placing this is that having not been qualified to participate in the election, all the votes cast in his favor were wasted votes. And so if those wasted votes are cancelled, then he emerges as the winner of the election. He has also said in alternative to that, the INEC should simply cancel the election results and another election be conducted. So these are the prayers before the tribunal in summary. But what Mr. Peter Obi and the Labour Party have also done, and I think quite ingenious, is that they have brought in other issues associated with the candidature of the president-elect. Saying that the president-elect had been involved in a matter in the United States of America transaction. That's one. And second, that the president-elect also had allowed his vice president to maintain two nominations at the time he was going to be contesting for the post of vice president. First, that he had the nomination pending as a senatorial candidate, and then he also had it. So these are a whole lot of things have been thrown into the basket, and I think is a situation in which whichever way APC goes or turns, whichever way Ashwaju Bola Tinubu turns, the Labour Party believes is going to be caught by one or the other.
I know that, I mean, being a lawyer, I would not want to drag you into the meat of the matter, but we just wanted our viewers to get a sense of the implication of what Peter Obi and the other political parties have filed before the court, the tribunal. But give us a sense of in the petition, what is next? Is it a trial? What exactly are we to expect in the coming days?
Now, what we expect in the coming days, of course, if there are no preliminary applications or the pre-election applications, the tribunal will expect that if all papers are in, of course, we expect that the APC and Bola Ahmed Tinubu will file their own response to this petition. And once that has been done, the pre-election applications will take place, if any, and the trial will take place from day to day. But, of course, it's going to take place at the Court of Appeal because that is what is provided in the Constitution, the constitutional provision. The Court of Appeal has the prerogative of taking the petition, and it's only where that is concluded and the party is not satisfied, and then goes on to the Supreme Court. So what I expect is, and what I would urge Nigerians to do, is to follow these proceedings, because I must mention here that as much as possible, a lot of Nigerians are expecting that, well, the judgment will be given in a short while, and then we know who really our president is going to be. But the truth is they have up to 180 days within which this whole process will take. And once that has been done, a judgment will be given. If parties are satisfied, that's it. If they are not, then they go to the Supreme Court. But in the meantime, I see the council representing the president-elect and his party, APC, and the vice president, looking at the petition holistically and also drafting their own response to each and every paragraph and ensuring that they cover the grounds as well.
Let us say quickly, I have just about two questions for you, sir. One is because the party of the APC on their own side, they're also saying they might also challenge some of the results that Peter Obi and the other opponents got in this election. And one might want to assume that they also might want to sue or go to court in that sense. And we're also hoping that the PDP and Atiku Abubakar will also go. Should APC go to court, what is it called? Is it counter-suing? Or what exactly could that scenario be?
Well, you see, if the APC also has reasons to believe that, in fact, Mr. Peter Obi didn't even score the number of votes accredited to him, about 6 million votes, they would be entitled also to file their own petition. Well, a form of counter petition it would be. But the truth is, the petition will be heard by the tribunal simultaneously. So I believe one judgment will be delivered to cover the grounds. And then again, whoever is not satisfied will then go to the Supreme Court. But again, let's mention this. If APC and the president-elect also feel that there are areas that Mr. B also hasn't done very well, it's a way of ensuring that even if some of their own votes are discountenanced, they're not shortchanged. Everybody has to ensure that they put everything they have in accordance with the law.
All right, Ode. But on a final note, I know the connection didn't allow you to land on that thought, but quickly, sir, if you can give us an understanding of what to expect, for example, in the manner in which INEC has handled the governorship election result. We saw what happened in what the PDP candidate in Ogun State said in relation to what happened in Adamawa, in Kaduna State, in Enugu and Abia State. There are similar tendency but different treatment that has been given. A case where a result has been announced and INEC has declared the result. But on that premise, in the Adamawa case, it says the margin of victory is different from the PVC that is allowable to be collected in that area. And there are those who believe that shouldn't the same treatment be given across board? What are your views about this scenario, which is playing out evidently in Adamawa State, for example?
For Ogun State, I'd say this. Once a winner has been declared, the matter ceases to be within the remit of INEC. You can only go to the election tribunal. With Adamawa, if the election is inconclusive, then there will be a runoff. And that's in line with the law. So I do not think it's a question of treating one party differently and another differently. Now, when the results, the difference between the first candidate and the second candidate, such that the score is less than what is outstanding, either by way of cancellation in some polling units or the other, then it's regarded as inconclusive. And in such an inconclusive situation, the only thing to do is to have a runoff. But people are very anxious in a place like Abia, for example. They want to know in what way or the other the results will be going. Should the candidate be who has won the election be declared, or should a runoff be announced? People are very apprehensive, and I do not think INEC should delay any further. Whatever decision they want to make should be made as quickly as possible, so that voters do not become very restive.
Mr. Kayode Adeluola, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, thank you so much indeed for your time and the perspectives in which you have given to us tonight on these issues.
Yes, can I just say one more thing? I'm of the view that INEC should also ensure that members of tribunals are given the necessary facilities they require and that they also are made comfortable. I've heard of a place where members of the tribunal are lodged in hotels. I don't think that's very good. Members of tribunal should not be walking along the same corridors as patrons of hotels. I think this is something I'm going to also be able to discuss with my NBA presidents, and we need to look at this very carefully. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Adeluola, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, indeed, for your thought there. Let's now switch gears now and look at what is happening. We told you on Channels Television and our analysis of the election that there are 11 governors who are seeking re-election. Out of that, 9 of them have been duly elected and declared and returned. Tonight we'll be speaking with 2 of those, 1 of the APC and 1 of the PDP. So it's only in Zamfara State that the governor there has been defeated. He's not able to return. In Adamawa State, the election there has now been declared inconclusive. For now, let's get to speak with the governor of Nasarawa State, Governor Abdullahi Sule, who joins us live from Lafia. It's good to see you, Governor Sule, and congratulations on your victory at the polls. Let me begin by asking you, it was a very tough one, beginning with the presidential election. With things didn't go in the way of your party, there are a lot of fears for your supporters who thought that you may at some point have lost the election, but eventually you came out victorious.
Thank you very much, Shaun. I appreciate that. And let me also use the opportunity. I see my brother from Bauchi State. Let me also congratulate him, just like the way you congratulated me. Let me thank you so much for inviting me to this program. Indeed, no election, especially here in Nasarawa State, has ever been that easy. And the reason is Nasarawa State is another equivalent of what you have, like Ogun State to Lagos. We have a lot of people, who come in. Their attraction for them is actually Abuja, but then they end up living in Nasarawa State. That's why today, the Karu local government, which used to be a very small local government, has now over 300,000 voters, far more than the state capital, that is Lafia, that used to have almost 3 times what Karu used to have. So I think that is one of the challenges. And most of the people who actually come from other places to settle here in Nasarawa State, they are people we want. They are people bringing their wealth. They are people bringing investment, and we love them to be there. But most of them do not understand the local politics of the state. Therefore, they go, in most cases, they go the other way. So it's understandable. Therefore, if we lost the election, to Labour Party at the presidential level, we believe very strongly that was more or less, a movement rather than a political party thing, similar to what I have told you in the past. And even then, I again told you, and today I'm indicated that Labour Party was not going to repeat what we saw at the governorship level. And that's why now you don't see anywhere Labour Party is being mentioned. The election became strictly between APC and PDP, and those are the traditional opposition parties to each other. So that has been what happened, and we are glad we succeeded, and then we won the election.
there's a lot of threat to your political, the outcome of the election. The Egon-speaking people of Nasarawa State, they have a lot of numbers. And it was looking so much that things were not going to go your way. But there are a lot of those who also believe that internally there are some wranglings within your party. How come for those who are in the opposition, within your party, thought that you may have not handled things well? How did things go so wrong that you lost a lot of grounds politically at the presidential election, which they say affected your party also in the governorship election?
Well, it did, and it is normal usually in a place like Nigeria. Remember, we have the national chairman of the party who happens to be from Nasarawa State, and that's the first time it ever happened in the history of democracy, here in Nigeria. So the presence of the national chairman also gave a few people some advantage to do one or two things, and then at the end of the day, we had several challenges at the primaries. And the challenges led into so many other things. But the national chairman, being a leader and a gentleman, did everything possible towards the end of the election, especially immediately after the presidential election, to come and unite nearly everybody. So from what I can see you even showing right now, it's the same national chairman who came in and gave everybody the encouragement before the election. And on the day I was declared, he was the one again who came in to give everybody encouragement and to appreciate everyone. So he abandoned everything national and came back and be part and parcel of the local politics. And now he was able to reunite our people. And that actually helped a lot in making sure that we ended up winning the election at the governorship level.
But I mean, the Egon-speaking people, I spoke about that earlier. I mean, how much of a threat was that for you? This is not the first time that they've commanded such a huge political following, and they hold the numbers also. But have you been able to appeal to the yearnings or the aspiration of those number of people in the state? They have huge voting population in Nasarawa State.
Well, it is not necessarily just the Egon people that you are talking about. The Egon people have a sizable population in the state. Yes, they do. They own a big local government called Nasarawa Egon, and in addition, they are present in a couple of other local government areas, including Lafia and Akwanga, which is my own local government, and a few other places like that. But Egon is just one tribe. It's the same thing with the Alago Nation. They are also a huge number. It's the same thing with the House of Fulani. They are also a huge number in the state. And the same thing, you go from one tribe to another. So any tribe that believes only that tribe can actually constitute a government in Nasarawa State, I think that tribe is making a mistake, because that drives other people a little upset, by saying that you alone will be able to do that. The threat we have in this last election is not necessarily just from the Egon upfront. There was a lot of religion also introduced into our politics this time around. If you remember, there are 4 Muslims that were running under this, and then 1 Christian that was only running. So that also was used, unfortunately. And since after the elections, I have been doing everything possible, as my number 1 goal now is to reunite the state, because we were a one state. In the same house, you will find Muslims, Christians, and others who don't even care about any of the 2 religions. So the moment we begin to introduce religion into our politics and ethnicity into our politics, it is going to only draw us backwards. And I have done everything possible. Even this evening, I addressed the people of Nasarawa State and asked them, to come back and reunite so that we can build our state. In the next 1 week, we are going to do exactly what has been done in Bauchi and Gombe. So the first oil well is going to be drilled. And so it's a state that has great potentials, and we are working towards that direction. So we cannot allow the interest of any particular ethnic group or any religion whatsoever to affect our state. And that has been my call. And that's what I have been calling. But some individuals, take advantage of either religion or ethnicity when they believe it will work for them. Well, this time it didn't work, but this is not the first time that has been used, Sheon. Maybe this is the first time you are hearing it. So the issue of either Igon or Christian has been used many times. From 2007, when I got to understand our elections, it was used very badly, but then it has never worked. And I hope my brothers from other tribes or other religion will understand that religion or ethnicity will not help you. It's better you need everybody in order for you to be able to build a state. And that's what we are using, and that's what has helped us to get to where we are. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. I mean, this is not the first time, and perhaps this is another time that it has happened, and there are a lot of forces who have joined, come together there are other times that you have more than 1 or 2 or 3 gun person on the ballot, which has posed a lot of threats in the race. But stay with me, Governor Sule, because I need to quickly go on a break, and we'll attend to some messages, and we'll right back. Don't forget, everyone, that Governor Bala Mohammed is also on the program tonight. Governor Ayo Fayose, former governor of Ekiti State, is also on the program. It's so much of a packed program. Stay with me, everyone. We'll be dissecting these issues for you when we return. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. There are a lot of governors who went into the race, 11 of them. Now one is not able to return. One election in Adamawa has been declared inconclusive. We've been speaking with one of the governors who have now been returned, Governor Abdullahi Sule of Nasarawa State. Thank you so much indeed, Governor Sule. Just quickly, there must be a very big lesson that you must have learned because speaking with you before the election, you thought that things might be a bit easier, but it does pan out that it's perhaps not as you thought. What would be one big lesson that you think you could take out of this election?
Well, I think the big lesson is the unfortunate one that I never expected that people, because of their love for this kind of thing, will now begin to divide our people using religion as basis. I think that's one of the biggest lessons that I have learned, in our election. And I think one of the things we'll continue to do here in Nasarawa State, is to continue to provide this awareness for people to understand that, that religion is a relationship between you and your Lord, and people should not use that. I know it has been used all over the country, but in our own state, it's just used so negatively to the point where it affected, the outcomes of elections, especially the houses of assembly, that we have had our candidates, So we're hoping that next time, our people will learn from this, just that I have learned that is not the right way to go. I think elections candidates should be judged by their competencies, by their capacity, and by their track records of what they have done in the past, rather than based on what kind of religion they are or what kind of ethnicity that they belong. And I'm sure Nasarawa State is not an exception. There may be some other states in the Federation that are feeling the same kind of impact. For us in Nasarawa State, Labour Party religion, religion was used heavily, where churches were as exactly, they must do this, they must do that, they must, so it has become very negative. And I pray Nigeria will not be seeing these kind of elections again.
But does it also occur to you that there's come a point in time that those who lead this country or the people of this country have come to realize that they can no longer take the people for granted? Do you have a sense of more purpose and urgency to deliver on the promises, or else the issue of hire and fire comes predominantly in our elections these days? Does it give you that feeling this past election?
Definitely. It has given me that feeling, and we have seen that more in our party than even any other party. During the primaries, we have seen these kind of challenges where some popular candidates, some powers that be actually work against those kind of candidates. And as powerful as those candidates are, as acceptable to the people as those candidates are, some powers that be actually were against them. And I think I have seen that also in some northern states, but we've seen that in Nasarawa State a lot. So those kind of people, because they believe in themselves and because they believe people actually wanted them, so they left and went to other parties and actually won their elections from the other parties. So for us in Nasarawa State, we have always known that the powers is in the hands of the people, because you remember, we were the only state that used to be CPC. So that even Mr. President, with due respect, couldn't produce Katsina State, which is his home state. But during the 2011 elections, Nasarawa State was the only state in the federation where we had 20 out of the 24 members as PDP, and then a CPC candidate, won the election. And probably from that point we realized, that yes, the powers belong to the people, and we have seen that so many states now. My brother from Bauchi is sitting there, and he can confirm that actually in the same period in 2007, a very powerful governor that was living, the people said no to his senatorial ambition. And we have seen about 5 or 6 governors that lost their senatorial ambition while still governors today. So I do agree with you, and I think Nasarawa has proved beyond reasonable doubt that the people decide, not any particular individual for them. I agree with you.
All right. On a final note, and this is perhaps for the people of Nasarawa State, a lot has been said during the campaigns, but now the real issue of governance now comes to bear, and they will be looking to what you will be doing. What do you think will be your biggest priority? And I guess that you spoke on the issue of reuniting the people and the issue of security based on what has transpired during the campaigns and in the election. But if there is one major thing or fundamental thing that you need to focus on as a governor for your people, what would that be? All right, so sad. It seems we've lost connection with Governor Abdullahi Sule. All right. Okay, let's see if we can switch gears now and go to Bauchi State, where the incumbent governor and the governor that has been declared elected, Governor Bala Muhammad, joins us live from Bauchi. It's good to see you again. You were here on the program before the election, and here you are again, back on the program. This time around, you've won the election. It was a tough battle as we all monitored and saw what transpired, although the APC has rejected the outcome of the election. But Senator Bala Muhammad, can you tell us how humbled are you about this election, which a lot of your opponents thought you did not have a chance at all in the race?
Thank you, Sharon, for the opportunity, and I want to seize the opportunity again to congratulate my colleagues, especially the returned governors like Sule and the rest, for the opportunity given to us to serve again. Well, this has always been playing around the issue of our return and the high expectations of those coming in. They thought it was a fait accompli. They would just push us around, especially my humble self. And they made so much far-reaching statements out of sheer deep sense of arrogance and impunity, believing that I was just a pushover. And of course, I have always gone into this contest with humility and with tact and strategy, because I knew power comes from God and he gives power to who he wishes. And I knew my track records are there. And of course, I have gotten the endorsements of all the stakeholders of the state, especially those that matter. And of course, our state is a very complex state with a lot of diversity. I was able to get the nod of all those who matter. And so I was ready, but they thought they are the king gods, they are the kingmakers, because of one reason or the other, they highly underrated me. And that is why I sprang surprises, and that is where my strength lay. So I knew I was going to win, but I didn't know whether it would be with that large margin of 92,000 or 93,000. And of course, if I did not win, I was ready to accept whatever came, because I knew power comes from God, and you can never take the people of Bauchi or Nigeria for granted.
All right. So if you look at it, Governor Muhammad, I'd like you to listen to what the APC candidate, the former chief of air staff, said about he's disputed that outcome. Let me allow you to listen to what he said, and I'll get your reaction to his take on the election.
It's possible. We are very aware, and our people are equally aware, that the election in Bauchi State was characterized by primitive violence. thuggery, intimidation of opponents, harassment of opponents, and throwing out of APC agents in many polling units, where commissioners and local government chairmen of the states took over virtually all the electoral activities, particularly in Bauchi town. The SSG was seen moving with commissioners and local government chairmen from one collation center to another throughout the night. And when they get into these collection centers, they throw away or they chased the APC agents there, and they took over the papers and wrote what they wanted to write. This, to say the least, is most unfortunate.
That is the position of the APC governorship candidates in the race. They are saying that the result of the election is not the real outcome. How do you react to that?
I have so much respect for the former chief of air staff because of the position that he reached in the society. But I expected him to be more statesmanly, to be more honest and sincere, because maybe of his high expectations, he came in thinking that everything was going his own way. There was no any violence anywhere, but we knew what happened. He killed, or his people killed so many people during the electioneering campaigns in my village and in the village of my chairman. And of course, there was so much gunshot and so on and so forth. One of his supporters was declared wanted by the police because of the streak of violence he has perpetuated or perpetrated on the people. And he tried to militarize the whole process by bringing in the military, but they refused to play to his wishes and caprices. And of course, even the security agencies were there because of the anticipation of the thuggery that he was bringing in, because the man that was declared wanted was a kingpin of thuggery. He even goes around saying that he is a kingpin of thuggery. And so PDP did not do anything abnormal. Of course, we have the privilege of having a sitting government with the secretary to the government, the commissioners, and the rest who are our own agents, and they are free to do it on election duty or not. The secretary to the government is somebody who liaises with the security agencies as a matter of statutory responsibility. Maybe he's ignorant of all this, but certainly we want to advise him to eschew lies, treachery, and mischief, to make sure that what he does is to look at things collectively and honestly. He is expecting so much. They did a lot of vote buying. They came in with his wife, using the federal government agency of the humanitarian agencies, sending trailers of foodstuff, and the rest. Some of them expired, and giving money in all the police units. But money and intimidation did not work. And we have seen the futility of it. And he recruited so many kingmakers who thought they can make or unmake, and did a lot of intimidation and gave sweeping statements and conclusive assertions that were there. And at the end of the day, we were humble. We worked on the basis of tact and strategy, knowing that our track record will sell us because both people have seen the revolution we have brought in infrastructure, services, especially education and health. We have done so much, but we did not wait here. And we campaigned in the nooks and crannies of the state, going to all the local government, touching all the stakeholders, the ulamas, the traditional rulers, and we were endorsed by all the religious sects, the Izala, two of the sects of the Izala sect, that is the major sect of the state, and of course the Tijaniya, the traditional rulers. So we have gone into this election prepared. And of course, he was not prepared, but thinking that they would go and buy election, they will use the position they held. Maybe they did not know election. Maybe they were coming as upstart or greenhorns in politics. Politics is not the position you held before, which you have never helped anybody. Some of us have helped a lot of people over the period as directors, as ministers, as senators. I came with a very high pedigree, but I was able to come low.
Governor Mohammed, yeah. If I may quickly ask, now, there were a lot of people who worked against you, even within your party. So you had battle within and without. outside of your party and in your party, there were a lot of division. And this election has also, just as we've seen in several states of the Federation, there were loads and loads of division, ethnic and religious division. Give us a concrete idea of how you are, or you hope to unite the people of Bauchi State that have been left divided by the election.
The mistake people do is to think that those who fought me are within the party. None of them was within our party. But they admired our presidential candidate and they worked for him. And they told everybody that they were going to do that. So we knew from the beginning they were never card-carrying members of the PDP. In fact, on the contrary, some of the elites who appreciate our contributions, like the former deputy governors and other commissioners, came to our aid from the APC, even some about PDP members. But we never had anybody who was a member of the PDP working against us. People like the former Speaker of the House of Representatives, he was never with us. The former governor of Bauchi State, Adamu Muazu, was only an admirer of our presidential candidate. He had always been my traditional foe, and I have always apologized for defeating him in 2007. I thought that was forgotten, but he was always looking for his pound of flesh. And the other older person, my father, the Waziri, who was able to enlist the antagonism of the emirate, and he was sacked, and he was blaming it on me. I believe it is his time to go. But he was never a card-carrying member of any political party. But I agree he was a traditional ruler and one of our elders that we respected, and he took the toga and the throne of the creator, God, to say that he was the one who made me. And then he was demystified and demeaned by his own utterances and vagaries. So we never had it.
Yeah, so I mean, my worry is the people have been divided by this election, how you are hoping to unite them.
These people have already oozed themselves out of the system. We are devising a new movement within the APC and the PDP. And I have extended my hands of friendship to them if they can come along. But if they feel very strong, already they have been demystified. Already they have been rejected by the people. They no longer matter any longer. But of course, we give them their respect as elders. If they wish to come, because I didn't make myself, I didn't elect myself, and the people, 22 members of the House with a brand new deputy governor. So it is not me, it is the people of Bauchi. They have had their time. When they were there, nobody challenged them. But they are challenging God, and that is why they have destroyed themselves. But still, they are our leaders.
All right.
We like them. We respect them. We want them to come on board, and because there are so many opportunities there. But when they continue with their transgression, I know God will deal with them. And of course, we are not just going to fold our arms, as I said in one of the interviews, with my hands behind my back akimbo, following them when I knew they no longer matter in terms of leadership in Bauchi State. But certainly, we respect them. We want them to really swallow their ego.
Senator Mohammed,
come back to reality.
Just in about 60 seconds, we are due for another break. But give us an idea, because politics is over, elections are over. I know a lot of people might go to court, but you have been given, saddled with the responsibility to lead the people of Bauchi. The people will now be looking forward to leadership, to governance. Give us an idea of what will be your primary role or agenda or target for the people of Bauchi State. What should they be looking forward to now that you have the election?
I want to really continue with what we have started, the continuity. But there can be continuity without unity and peace. We have been adjudged as one of the most peaceful states. These stakeholder wranglings that we have, division and rancor, I want to make sure that it is over. But certainly I'm going to face it within the legal means to make sure that I legitimize my position, because I'm humble, and offer the olive leaf or the branch to whoever wants to come and join us, and even take the milestone to reach out to them, those who feel that they are the major stakeholders and they are losing out. So that at the end of the day, as Governor Sule has said, there are so many opportunities and potentials in Bauchi that everybody will be able to contribute. If what we want is the progress and development of Bauchi, if what we want is prosperity, then we should work very hard to make sure we bring people together. And I'm ready, because there is certainly nothing much between me and Dogara as a brother. Nothing much between me and Muazu as an elder brother that I respect so much. Nothing between me and Waziri, except for what he felt that he didn't want me to be governor, and he told everybody he didn't want me. And when I have fought to assert myself, then people are blaming me. You cannot blame me when I want to do when I want to really make sure that I have not been undone. And so I mean them well. Even now there are traditional rulers, there are ulamas who work with them. I have forgiven them. My own is to make sure I unify everybody. Even civil servants who work with them. I'm not going to penalize them. I'm asking them to come and work, because everybody has his thinking or his feelings. And certainly you cannot go into election like this and think that everybody is with you and thinking that you will be the winner. Right from the onset, I thought I will win, but if I don't win, I will take the outcome.
Senator Bala Mohammed, you really have your work cut out for you, and I wish you the very best with you and your people and the expectations they have for you. I hope you do not disappoint them. But thank you so much indeed for your time tonight.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations once again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
We'll take a break, everyone, and when we return, former governor of Ekiti State, Ayodele Fayose, is standing by to speak to us on some of the losses and the wins and what this means for our politics, especially the G5, the PDP, and what we need to expect in our politics in the nearest future. Stay with me, everyone. We'll be right back. Thank you so much indeed, everyone. Just before we went on the other break, Governor Abdullahi Sule was going to tell us give us a final thought. And the question was, what should the people of Nasarawa State be expecting in these next 4 years that I've given to you to lead them?
Thank you very much, Shaun. I think they will be expecting the continuation and completion of some of the things we started. Number one, we have most of these major investors that have come in. They have acquired land for agriculture, and they are just beginning to mobilize to the site various equipment, including flour mills that we have, Saro, agriculture, energy, Dangote, right here. Is also for the continuation of the other projects in the oil and gas that I told you. In the next 7-8 days, we are going to commence oil operation here in Nasarawa State with the drilling of the first well. So they are going to see that so that we can see the maturity of that production, installation of the integrated field development that we have, refinery on the same site, fertilizer on the same site, as well as all the other value chain for the oil and gas, because it's an integrated field development. So it's going to, the first well is going to come in, in the next 8 days. That's when we are starting. So you expect that the entire operation will not be concluded until another 2-3 years from now. Now, next is also going to be the aspect of the fertilizer that we have. We have also done in the area of agriculture so far, in the area of education so far, we have done so much when it comes to the baseline survey that we have carried out. Now it is time for the implementation of that survey. We have done so much on the study of also our traditional councils. This is the time for the implementation of all that. So many committees were set up, and this is the time to implement every aspect of the recommendation by those committees. Yeah. And I believe that is what is going to happen in the next 4 years.
Governor Abdullahi Sule, many thanks for talking to us tonight. I really appreciate your time, and I wish you the very best.
Thank you so much. It's always nice to see you. Yes.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Let's switch gears now and go to Lagos, where a former Ekiti State Governor, Governor Ayodele Fayose, has been with us. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for your patience, and it's good to see you again. Thank you for coming on the program. Let me begin tonight's conversation by asking you, there was somewhere, a lot of people describe it in your party as an open rebellion against the position of your party on the presidential race. You openly campaigned somewhat for another political party. Would you say that rebellion paid off, or how would you describe such a rebellion, if that is the case?
Well, Shehu, let me just thank Nigerians for this opportunity to speak my mind. Like I always say, it is time to separate what we want for Nigeria and what we want for a political party. I have no apology for my actions. now and in the future. Let me remind you again, Shehu, I have not hidden my respect for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I started while I was in office, and I say such because if they are going to talk about Nigeria today, Asiwaju will be one of the leading lights that will be there. In the north, northern Nigeria, when they want to talk about their country, what they do simply is to make sure that their foremost leaders are promoted to be able to stand the test of time. Asiwaju is a member of the APC. Many people in Nigeria have been confronted with what they had said at different times. And they either recount or say something new. I stand there to tell you, I will never, ever be a member of the APC. I am not in politics for what it is anymore. God has given me a fair opportunity to lead Ekiti two times and defeating 2 incumbents. Nigeria is not a country we now take for granted. You will see by the outcome of this election that a lot of people were displaced as a result of taking this country for granted. The young people did not hide their disdain. They went for the leader's neck and took out the neck. They sacked them and occupied the space. Let me tell you again, this is a warning and further warning for those people coming in and those people returning, that if you mess with the people, they will mess with you in 4 years' time.
So, Governor Fayose, let me quickly ask you, what you risk...
on the question you asked,
yes,
hold on a second.
Yeah.
You asked me a question. You said an open rebellion in my party. With all respect, my party was not prepared for that election. My party was not prepared for that election.
How do you mean?
We were prepared to fail.
Yeah, they fed the candidate.
I stand here that our party was a fractured party. It will be playing to the gallery to say you are not aware that Obi was a former member of the PDP. You'll be fooling yourself to say that the G5 governors are not members of the PDP. You will be wasting your time that when Kwankwaso left the party after the Northwest Congress, that the end will be a positive one. What we saw was what we reaped. The arrogance of the people around our candidates. You will recall that after the primary, the first thing you said was Tambua was the hero of the convention. So they are both heroes now. They are heroes. They can now eat the party. Except some of our leaders humble themselves. We are going nowhere.
Governor Fayose, let me ask you.
Let me tell
you risk.
There's nothing.
You risk loyalty. Yeah, just a moment. You risk loyalty to your party in support of Bola Tinubu of the APC. So this is across party line.
In support of Nigeria.
Why did you do
in
so?
Nigeria.
What was the reason why you stuck a rat out for him?
Listen, my support was not for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed totally. My support was for the power must shift to the south. Power must shift to the south. On my Twitter handle, I said it 6 months ago. It is time for the south.
But Bola Tinubu was not the only candidate from the south. Peter Obi is another candidate from the south. Yeah.
I'm coming there. Bola Tinubu, President Buhari represented the interest of the North, while Asiwaju Bola Ahmed and Peter Obi represent the interest of the South. They symbolized the South. At the last meeting of the G5 stakeholders, it was concluded that we should work for either Asiwaju or Obi, depending on the peculiarity of your state. With all due respect, the Igbos and the reasonable number of the South went out for Obi. Then, for me as a Southerner, and a Southwest man, what do you expect of me? To stay there and say Asiwaju should be murdered politically? That was why I had to commend back in the day on this program. Commend him very well. At the expense of his future, he stood the ground for Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu. Let me say to you very clearly, when Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu came back after a leg surgery, I was the one that went to Bodilon. I posted a picture. I don't be people. I'm not people's friends hiding. And I said to you, Wike is my friend. I freely and willingly stood by Wike and the G5 because I was convinced that their demands were fair, and fair to the country. But when you want somebody, don't jump down from the roof. The 10th floor, you will die. The PDP and the candidate jumped down from the 10th floor. Today, it is either rally or the court. Let us wait for that time.
All right. So let me ask you.
When you defeat somebody in Nigerian politics.
Yeah, politically, Governor Fayose.
When you defeat somebody in Nigerian politics, let me tell you the truth. It is better for you to withdraw the field, though. This one you are talking about is an afterthought, after lunch. After lunch. When you are shouting court, 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 the other people will be looking at you to go and take over the court ahead of them. You are saying somebody rigged. I listened to the governors of Bauchi just now and the opposition. They were trading blames of rigging. So who rigged who? In Lagos here, they are saying they rigged or they stopped the Igbos or the Labour Party and all that. I stand there to be corrected. In the East, during the election, it was war between even the Igbos, like you saw between the Hausas and the West. So don't tell me there's an innocent politician here. And stop condemning INEC. In 2018, when they rigged my election, I was shouting. Majority of them, Fauci has come again. Fauci has come again. What goes round has come round. So you can't blame INEC. Let me tell you today. The simple reason is this. There are stakeholders in every journey. There is INEC. There's security agencies. Go further to look at other stakeholders. Will INEC carry firearms to stop this violence? Will INEC stop them from doing vote buying? What will INEC do? Not until the political class humble themselves. Stop blaming INEC.
So, Governor Fauci, let me jump in quickly. Let me jump in quickly.
1984, yeah. 1983, they were appealing to Chief Awolowo, Zeke, and others to come together. The moment they lost that election, they did not come together until they lost. So you saw Zeke now addressing the press with the three of them. Don't you now see chairman of Labour Party and IU talking together? They are jokers. Particularly chairman.
Yeah, so let me ask you quickly. What was the trade-off? Because I know politicians, if there is an alignment across party line, there are possibility of a trade-off. You give me, I give you. For the support across party line, what was exactly the trade-off for the support for Bola Tinubu from the members and leaders of the PDP?
Members and leaders of what? I can't hear him.
Of the PDP. The question I'm asking is, you and some of your friends, some of the G5 governors, you mentioned that Governor Makinde also stuck his neck for Bola Tinubu, and I'm asking, what was the trade-off? What was it that you guys agreed upon? What was the agreement for the support?
I'm a former governor. Can't hear him well. I'm a former governor. I queue behind sitting governors. And when they go to meetings, I am not part of a meeting. My position is when I follow people, I am totally in submission. The directive was that we should go and support the southern candidates because this is the position of the governors and the leaders of thought. And the southern candidates were Obi and governor and the president-elect. And I've done justice. I am not desperate for any appointment. You know, I am somebody who will not cringe because of a piece of me. Don't mind whatever little boy says. In 2 million Nigerians have been governor twice, I am contented. But for anybody to say you will unseat Ahmed Bola Tinubu, you are daydreaming. You are daydreaming. It's a nightmare you are putting yourself through. That election has come and gone.
All right.
In America, today, the former president is still saying it was rigged. He that will come to Ekiti must have cleaner hands.
So, Governor Fayose, we just have
Nigeria,
we just have
that election has come and gone.
We have 30 seconds.
But you are at liberty to go to court.
Yeah, we have 30 seconds to go, Governor Fayose. If you are to tell Bola Tinubu, 30 seconds
is that let everybody prepare for 2027. You see, these things are not Tea Party. We are all guilty in this country. We are all guilty. You see, the system. Let me tell you the truth. The system, we need to sit down again, politicians, and allow the system to run. Don't stop blaming INEC. Stop blaming INEC. INEC this, INEC that. They reprint. If you had won, would you be doing rally? If you do rally for, we will do against. If you do against, we will do for.
All right.
Ashwaji is already president. Those governors had won election. When I lost in 2018, they said I should go to court. Those who lost, go to court.
All right, Governor Fayose, many thanks indeed for your time. It's good to see you, and I implore you, please, when you have the time, let's sit down in the studio together and talk some more, please. Thank you so much, Governor Ayodele Fayose. Always a pleasure having you around. Thank you so much. Well, that's our show for tonight. I'll see you tomorrow again. God bless Nigeria.